opportunity is yes, then workflow should update a rating, a warm. I mean, if it is not warm, it should update to. I mean, if it is not hot, then it should update to hot. Okay.
Hello.
Clear?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Settings. Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so if the account, if upselling equal to yes, if upselling equal to yes, then if rating equal not equal to hot, then it should workflow should update rating equal to hot. Okay.
Okay.
Now here, whenever account rating equal to hot, if the phone field is blank, we are getting a validation error, right? Now you can validate
Yeah.
that. So if I say hot, if I say, then we had phone number required. No, I'm not updating anything here. I'm leaving it as a warm. I'll going back and I'll be creating my workflow rules. So here I'll be creating a new workflow rule on account object. Account. Next. Rating hot for upselling up. Every time created, edited. Okay. And account dot SLA upselling opportunity is equals true. I mean yes in this case. And rating not equals to hot. Rating not equals to hot. It means that other than hot, and if it is yes, then we need to update it to a action. Now let me add an action in this case. What is the action that I need to choose? Which action I need to choose now if I want to update rating equal to hot?
Field update.
Yes, field update. Rating is hot. Now account. Where is my rating field? This is shipment. Okay. It's rating. Specific value hot.
Hot.
Save. And then simply activate it. Done. Activate.
Yeah.
Now what happened? We have a workflow. What happens if I say upselling equal to yes, edit and save? But phone number is required, right? Generally it is
Yes.
hot. Whether my workflow will execute or workflow will not execute.
Will not execute.
Gautam, what do you think?
I think it will execute
Why it will execute?
because we wrote the workflow.
Upsell up.
You are
So our
right.
condition was upsell up is true.
Yeah.
Then the rating should not be equal to hot.
Okay, if it is hot, if field update is doing hot, then phone number is required from a validation route, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
How come that action will complete? So you are right, it will execute without any route C, right? And it doesn't mean that you can able to edit also. No, it will expect you to enter like phone number
Okay, while editing.
while editing. But the validation rule can be skipped in this workflow execution. For this, Salesforce execution order. We have a Salesforce execution order. Which one will execute first? Which one will execute later? What is the execution flow in the diagram you are seeing? First, system validations
We
before
cannot
triggers, system validations, custom
Before
validations,
triggers.
after triggers, assignment rules, auto response, workflow rules. By the time it reaches your workflow rules, where we are in, he made a wrong diagram here. It is, he is showing up to the execution. Okay, this is one flow, and if you can see after flow, after triggers, we have assignment rules. After workflows, we do not have any system validation rules. See, original record, system validation rule, before validation, execution duplicate rules, after triggers, assignment, workflows. After workflow rules, you never have any system validations here.
Okay.
This validation is also important while you are implementing a different concepts in system to automate your business process.
But it still comes before workflows, right? But it
It
should
comes
execute,
before
right?
it comes before workflows. See, in before workflows, what is the rating equal to? Wow.
Yeah.
So that time, do you need a validation rule?
No.
There is no validation, right?
Yeah.
When it become validation? After workflow action, right?
Yes.
But at workflows, you don't have a validation rules anymore. They are executed and completed.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
Order of execution of processes. Okay. And here we have multiple steps. This is how they will say again. Processes. According to the above scenario, it seems like okay. For this scenario, they made this one. Triggers and order of execution. Order of execution with okay. This is one thing you need to remember. After workflow rules, there will be no validation rules. Okay, at first remembering for execution step. Clear?
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. What is system validation? System validations are nothing but required fields, mandatory one. These are system validations. On click of say whatever it is executing, they are validation rules. Okay. Two types of validation. One is required field validations. One is conditional field validations through a validation rules. Any question in this particular execution that I am talking about in respect to workflow?
No.
No.
Okay. What we can do, let me deactivate this. I am deactivating this workflow rule, the one we implemented right now. Okay.
Okay.
I deactivated it. That upselling opportunity stuff. I'll go to my process builder. Process builder is a new feature, lightning feature, which is more capable and more reliable solution to implement such a complex business rules. In workflows, how many actions that you can execute? I mean, what actions that you can execute on a under a criteria, isn't it?
Yeah.
But process builder is something, each and every step you can have your own criteria. Let's say you have a criteria, it got success. Now you need to execute your actions based on different criteria. That also you can do it. Every step you have a flexibility that you can add more checks. And it is a flow type of development. Let's say account process. This is my name called account process. Select one. When you need to execute at a record changes, platform event are invoked by another process. As I mentioned, right, it can also call another process builder.
Yeah.
Now, in these changes, I need to call this. This need to be executed whenever there is a change in my record. Record changes is my event. First, we need to select an object. See, flow model is creating automatically. Here you need to say account. When you need to execute, when a record is created or edited. Okay, save. Now add criteria. What is our criteria here? Upselling opportunities for rating. What is the condition that we need to have here?
True.
Upselling opportunity equals to yes, and you need to add another condition also.
Rating.
Account rating,
Hot.
it should be not equals to contains is not, does not equal pick list hot. So do you want to make this condition un or you can also customize your logic by adding like 1 and 2 or 1 or 2, or if you have 3, 1 and 2 bracket or 3 or whatever you wanted, right?
Okay.
So save. So what automatically the next criteria is creating. See, you added only one, but this is adding. So now I click and add. Now you can see you can call Apex class. These are the actions that you can do from Process Builder. Apex class, you can create a new record. You can do email alerts. You can call another flows. Another flows in the sense we have a lightning flows. You can call those flows. Post to a charter, you can do a charter post. Process, you can call another process builder. Quick actions, you can find, we have an options called quick actions. We have send custom notifications. If you want to send like a platform event or any other notifications, you can do through custom notification. Submit for approval, which is not available, and you can also update records. How many actions you have? You have more options right here in process builder. But only one thing is missing, outbound message is not available. Remember that.
Yeah.
You can ask me like I need to, where is new task? New task you can use a create a record. Using create a record you can create a new task, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just only this, it can also update its related records. Let's say if the trigger is firing an account, I need to update my contacts. That also I can do. Related records can also be updated, okay? If I say update records, rating is hot is my action. Now what is the record type that I need to select? Do you want to select the record that started this process or select a record to the related to account? If I can say I can choose whatever object I wanted, contacts. Now what happened? In contacts I can able to update whatever I wanted, okay?
Okay.
So the same way I can update. Now if I want to execute only under account record, I can select whatever is started. Choose account, no criteria. Now let's say I have two actions. Imagine in this criteria it came to this action. Here also if I need an extra condition saying that, I can add a condition like this. I can add condition. If this satisfied, then only this update happens. Else it will not happen. Okay.
Okay.
Now I'll say rating, pick list, hot, save. Now what I mean here, if I add another action I can add, right? This time what we can do, we can add extra conditions also. So simply I'm saying, now every time I don't want to execute this action and this action together. Now I need extra condition. If the account rating is really updated, then I need to update. Then I need to do this step, okay?
Okay.
So that what, so anyway, we are not doing, we don't have that case in this time. So once you add this, just activate. Just activate it. Now we got activated. Let me go back and I will save it. What is showing? We got a error, right?
Yeah.
What error it is saying?
Account process failed.
We cannot save this record because account process failed. Given your Salesforce a field custom validation. Phone number is required. So it means process builder is executing before validation rule, or you can also say After process builder, there is a validation rules, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when rating equal to not hot, then you are updating this, okay? It's good, looking good. Imagine this way. If rating equal to not warm, if rating equal to warm, then I need to update. If rating equal to hot, then I need to update rating to warm. That's what my expectation. You understand, right? What workflow is doing? What workflow is doing now? If it is not hot, then it is updating to hot, right?
Yeah.
I need to implement a process builder. When the rating equal to hot, I need to convert that to warm. Contradict your requirement, right?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Very contradictive here. So,
Yeah.
will you guys visualize it, the scenario? Okay, let me get you a picture then for this. We have here, it will convert, if not hot, then it will update to hot, okay? This is in workflow.
Yeah.
The other one I'm talking, if not hot, then update to warm.
Wow.
This is from process builder. So what will be the outcome now? In this case, there is a recursion, isn't it?
Yes.
In this case, there is a recursion. What will be the outcome, final outcome? You can answer me here.
It will show hot
It will show why hot.
because there is no validation rule after workflow. It's all done before workflow, and as you said, process builder has a validation rule after process builder.
Perfect. This is the thought process that I expected. Whatever you are answering, absolutely right. Because process builder will execute first, and then validation rules, and then workflow rules. What is the final outcome here?
Workflow rule.
Workflow rules. Okay. Now, if rating equal to hot and I need to convert to warm, this also in workflow rule. Then before it was very easy that process builder and workflow. Now I have both workflows.
Okay.
Then what will be the outcome?
Just like I said, like first in, first out, like whichever. I mean, like okay, you said like in all the systems it may not be like that.
Yeah. So now I deactivated it. Process builder has been deactivated. Going back to workflow rules. We'll implement the same contradictive one now in the workflows first. Okay.
Okay.
In the contradictive one, so what I am doing here, let's account rating changes. Okay, this activate it, and I do clone for this only, not hot equals to hot. Okay, simple, right? So now I'm making this as a contradictive. If it is equals to hot and equals to upselling, I'll create a new more field update, one more field update, saying that warm rating warm. This become contradictory, isn't it?
Yeah.
Activate it. Now I go back and I save it as a warm. Then hot. We got into hot, right? But first, if it is executing order, then what happens? It should be warm only, right? If it is
No, because we created hot one first, right?
okay. Now I'm saying this one. Let me add a phone number. So ideally, this should be warm. If it is warm, again we should update it to hot, right?
Yeah.
Warm. When I select hot, warm. See what is happening. Warm record is coming at a second one, and it is executing always in the. It is executing as a ascending order, which what is lately created, that is executing last. Okay. అంటే కొత్తగా ఏదైతే క్రియేట్ చేసామో అది లాస్ట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి అవుట్కమ్ అది వస్తుంది. ఓకే, లెట్ మీ గో బ్యాక్ టు వర్క్ ఫ్లో రూల్స్. Account hot for upselling, open it. I'm going to my field update, edit it, re-evaluate workflow rules after field changes. Okay, there is a checkbox, isn't it? In the field update, I updated that for a hot accounts. Now let me go back, edit, modify to hot, save. What is happening?
Showing warm.
Wow. So whenever if you have a contradictory requirement, you cannot judge which one will execute first and which one will execute last. Okay, but with the observation we can only say that whatever the workflow has been created very recently, that will execute last.
Okay.
Now, re-evaluation of criteria in the sense, whenever there is a changes in the field, after re-evaluation, it's try to execute workflow again and again. It will ensure that it will not update. Okay.
Yeah.
But in this case, the first time the workflow is getting completed and the transaction is closed, and then the new workflow is coming. So only, even if you had this challenge, it will not make any difference. Clear?
Yeah.
So workflows, if it is a contradictory, then you will see the outcome you can expect if it is from a new one. But it's not always true again. Okay?
Yeah.
There are ways that it will change the order of execution. But order of execution is that workflow will come, after workflow there will be no more validations.
Yeah.
And process builder and workflow, process builder will execute before validation rules and before workflows. Okay?
Yeah.
Clear?
Yeah.
Any question in this?
No.
What is the key takeaway from this discussion?
It follows the
The process of the
Exactly. So it's not just you wanted to learn the implementation, you should also know which one will execute first and which one will execute second.
yes.
That also matters here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So whenever you are doing, like, you might be configuring everything is right, because of the order missing, you don't get a right output. So whenever you are executing, if you get a doubt, if you are dependent on workflow rules and process builder, go back to the Salesforce documentation and check which one will execute first. With that, you can get a more clear picture and you can have a better configurations, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So order of execution. There is a concept in Salesforce called order of execution that you need to be by-hearted with understanding. Okay. And see, we have, let's imagine this way. Okay. See, we have different email templates. Are you clear about workflow rules, isn't it? You have any confusions?
No, not on the workflow. So we need to have more practice on that.
No. In the workflow rules, let me open a panel. What is this for?
We need to select object, yeah.
Why we need to select object?
On which object we are using that workflow, we need to select it first.
What is this for?
It's for like the first time when you create it, and second one is create and update. Third one is subsequently, like on and
What
on.
does it mean? What does it mean?
Subsequently, it's like on and off. Like it should work and it should not work.
The condition should become false to true always.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then what is this for?
it's the
Conditions.
conditions. Yeah.
This is criteria met, and you have a formula of always true. You can use any of this. This is for a simple type of logic, and this is for a complex type of I mean, right? Field references and everything
Yeah.
will come in this place, and then you have actions. Only this much. You do not have anything else in the workflow rules. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Any questions here?
No.
Okay. Now let's say I have a two different. Understand this business scenario. I have a two business. I have two businesses. One, let's say I have two different types of accounts. One with I have contact. Let's take as invoices only. One is for annual bill and one is for monthly bill. Okay. One is for annual bill and one is for monthly bill. Any question? Two types of billing systems: annual billing and monthly billing.
Okay.
Whenever I am creating my annual billing, all the validations and the fields it will show annual, last year paid amount, current year paid amount, number of years to be paid, all the policy details need to be stored. Okay. And what now if a manager, if I click a new, it should ask me an option saying that whether you wanted to create invoice for monthly or you wanted to create invoice for
Yearly.
yearly. Before I go there, I need to have this option. So how can I do that? You understood the requirement, isn't it?
Yeah. Then for that,
Email alert.
no.
Email alert will send an email. How it will show two options, Viharka?
Oh yeah.
Oh no. Okay. In this case, we Salesforce provided another important feature called record types. What is that called? Record types. What type of record you wanted to create. For that, you need to go to object. So object in the sense I'm choosing a direct option called edit object. So I'll go directly to a invoice setup. There you can see an option called record types, right?
Yeah.
Record types. New. For now, we are not creating any page loads, just a sample I'm showing. I'll say monthly invoice and ensure that whether this is active or not. Create an invoice for monthly billing dues. This is my description and ensure that this is active. For a first time, if you are creating a record type in the object, by default it will be active and available for all users. Make available, okay? You can't modify that. Okay, it's done. And insert layout. Okay, we have only one page layout. It's okay. See. And let me create one more record type. Now I'll create one more new record type. Either you can clone from master or either you can have a configurations from monthly invoice. Let's say annual invoice, bill for big customers, annual services. Now you need to activate on your own. Okay, make available. Next. We don't have a page layout created, so let's not worry this step. We'll come back and we'll see how to configure it. Now let's go back, click new. You got it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now from here you need to have, it's not just that simple that, oh, we got a pop-up, it become annual. Now we need to have our own validation for annual. We need to have own validation for monthly invoice, and we have to do accordingly. Okay,
Yeah.
clear? So how we can able to segregate the data using record types. So you can classify your invoices, what type of invoices is that based on record types. Clear?
Yes.
Record types. The naming is not good. It's showing as a capital N. This is annual. Okay. Back to record types. Invoice. Edit. Small n. Okay. Small n. Save. New. Okay. This is the cache. Now we got it.
So
Yeah.
again, how we'll be coming back to regular invoice page layout? So we need to disable this.
Okay, we have to disable this.
Okay, so that we'll be getting the regular page layout of invoice.
The problem is that why? Like the regular invoice, if you consider that they are no type, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's cancel. So what is the record type for this? We do not have any record type for this. Let's have a field. Let me edit it. Edit object. Sorry, edit page. We need to data correct. We don't want to leave this data as it is. We have to update this data. We have to update this data. Okay. Now let me go back. Record type. We have a record type field. Okay.
Yeah.
Save. Go back. Which is showing which record type? Blank. It's a blank record type, right?
Yeah.
You have to correct this data by selecting a record type.
Okay. Yeah.
Now this is, let's imagine you have like a more than one record, right, with the same type. Yes or no? Now let's imagine I wanted to correct all the data. I can't do a manual step, right? Always.
Yes.
Developer console. Select ID, comma, record type ID, comma, record type dot developer name. So you will get to know these queries, don't worry. Comma, name from invoice.
So query is another like a language.
SQL language. It can be Oracle or any SQL language.
Okay. SQL we used to create tables when I was taking some testing course.
Okay. Execute. So now you have a record type, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say record type equal to null. So we need to update the record type equal to null records. When record type equal to null. So there are two more records which are null type, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
How can I do a update? Imagine that these are not two records. These are 20,000 records. Okay. Is it possible to update manually?
No.
Is it possible to update manually?
20,000.
No. Huh?
20,000 records. No.
It's possible, but it takes a month time to update.
Yeah. Time.
Time taking. So that's not a right practice. So we have a concept called workbench. Let's log into your workbench. Okay. First we need to export data. Let me log into a production. Log in with Salesforce. Allow access to my Salesforce instance because first time I'm authorizing it. Now go to SQL query. And which object you are in? Invoice, right?
Yes.
Invoice. There are too many objects you have in Salesforce. These are standard objects. Invoice. and all I need like balance, I don't need balance. Where is record type ID? I need ID field, I need name field, and record type ID field. Filter results by record type ID not equal to null, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Equal to null query. You should get only those two records, and I'll say let me download this record query. Now I can able to download my results. I can download the data, okay? Into which format? Into a CSV file, isn't it? This comes as a CSV file, see?
What is
What is
CSV file?
CSV file?
Comma separated values. This is how it's an Excel file.
Okay.
Okay.
It's an extension called CSV. Okay. Now let it get open.
So we'll be
So we'll be
importing from
importing
here.
from here.
Yeah, we have to import. We need to correct the data here through Excel automations or data updates, and then we need to load it back to Salesforce through file. We exported Salesforce data using Workbench, okay? Now we need to import later. 1 minute. Here also we have data, insert, update, migration, utilities. Now we need to update it. So we need to select invoice from file, which file, and then you need to click next, field mapping and everything. But it takes time to open. Dancing. This way we need to correct the data. So if you don't want to go back, you know, right, which type of billing is this. All these are monthly billings, you know, right? So the number of days between start date and end date, if you can calculate, if it is less than like 360 days, ultimately they are like under annual, right?
Yeah.
Or we can also have a decision point saying that if the number of dates is 90 or less than 90, they are monthly. If they are greater than 90, let's convert them as a annually. Why it is taking so much of time? So what happens if I choose my file? Let me choose before it opens. I'll give you overview. Oh, that file is not showing up here. Oh, no. Invoice, next, and then I need to upload my CSV here. Or you can connect from different sources, isn't it? You can see, right, there are different sources available, right?
Yeah.
Record ID, and it got mapped automatically. If you want to change, you can change it, which field you want it to map. But in this case, record ID is the right one, record type ID. So here, next, only two records that you wanted to schedule a task every day, every hourly, that you can also do. Save and run. This will alter your Salesforce data, yes. Now it is running queued. You will get under results in this case. But the benefit here, right? Let's say import of, let's say, Access. You can connect to FTP server, secure FTP. You can connect to Dropbox, or if you have any database. You got it? So you don't want to necessarily create a data from a CSV file. You can also update from different servers using dataloader.io. FTP, file transfer protocol. You can have multiple, like what is your host URL, username, port number and everything. Then you can able to handle it. Now what's the results? Allow later. Here we have a results, right? 2 success and 0 errors. 2 success. Then you will get a results file. It will not show anything there. If you want to rerun again, you can see run invoice updated. Use attached file, upload new file. Now if you want to re-update this data, you can run it. You don't want to upload data again and again. So dataloader.io will only perform your data load activities. Workbench will perform your migration, REST services or other query services. Okay?
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
Gautam?